Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Bible Standard session. In our Bible Standard session today, we are studying from the book of Ruth, chapter 2. The book of Ruth, chapter 2 continues the story of Naomi and Ruth with significant development that highlight themes of providence, kindness, and divine orchestration. This chapter introduces Boaz, a key character whose role becomes crucial in the unfolding narrative. Naomi and Ruth have returned to Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest, as we saw in Ruth chapter 1, verses 22. The harvest season, a timely or which is a time of plenty and handwork, contrasts with the famine that drove Naomi's family to Moab. This setting underscores the hope and potential for renewal that lies ahead of their lives. As the chapter begins, or rather as chapter 2 begins, we see Ruth take the initiative to provide for herself and Naomi by gleaning in the fields. Gleaning, typically, is an act of collecting leftover grain after the harvesters, was a profession in the Mosaic law for the poor and the foreigners. This is evidence or is recorded in the book of Leviticus chapter 19 and Deuteronomy chapter 24. Ruth's choice to glean reflects her resourcefulness and determination in life. The text notes that Ruth happened to glean in the field of Boaz, that is, in verses 3 of chapter 2. This seemingly coincident detail hints at divine providence, as Boaz's field becomes the site of crucial interactions and blessings. As we see in the text that follows, Boaz arrives at his field and greets his workers with a blessing. This demonstrates his godly character and the respect that he commands. During this, Boaz notices Ruth and inquires about her identity. The servant in charge of the harvest describes Ruth as a Moabite who returned with Naomi and praises her diligence and humility in her work. Boaz approaches Ruth and instructs her to stay in his fields, which in so many ways he is offering her protection and provision. Boaz ensures her safety and commanding his young men not to harm her, and also allows her to drink from water jars provided for his workers. These actions by Boaz exceed the requirement of the law, which highlights his generosity and compassion. Ruth is overwhelmed by Boaz's kindness and asks why he is showing such favor to a foreigner. To this, Boaz responds by acknowledging her loyalty to Naomi and her courage in leaving her homeland. He blesses her, saying, "The Lord recompense thy work, and a full reward being given thee of the Lord God of Israel, under whose wings thou art come to trust." This blessing underscores the theme of divine protection and also reward for faithfulness. During the mealtime, Boaz invites Ruth to join him and his workers and offers her food. She eats until she is satisfied and has more food that left, which is a sign of abundance and provision. At the same time, we see Boaz instructing his workers to allow Ruth to glean even among the sheaves and to leave extra grain for her to collect, hereby ensuring she has plenty to take home. We also see Ruth returning to Naomi with an abundant amount of barley, which is about an ephah, roughly about 30 pounds. Naomi is astonished and asks where Ruth gleaned. When Ruth mentions Boaz, Naomi praises the Lord for his kindness and feels that Boaz is a close relative and one of their kinsmen redeemer, or one of the guardian redeemers. This role as defined in Leviticus chapter 25, verses 25 through 55, and also in Deuteronomy chapter 25, from verses 5 to 10, involves protecting the interest of the needy family members, including redeeming land and providing an heir. Naomi advises Ruth to continue gleaning in Boaz's field, where she will be safe. Ruth hints Naomi's advice, as we see, and works in Boaz's fields throughout the barley and wheat harvest as she stays with Naomi. Typically, what you can see is that Ruth chapter 2 advances the narrative with developments that emphasize God's providential care and the importance of kindness and loyalty. Ruth's industriousness and Boaz's generosity in so many ways create dynamic interplay of human effort and divine blessing. As we see in this chapter, Boaz emerges as a figure of hope and redemption, which sets the stage for further development as we will be seeing in other chapters. As we come to an end, we have to point out that this chapter highlights the significance of community and social structures in providing for the needy. Boaz's adherence to and exceeding of the gleaning laws reflect a society that values and cares for its vulnerable or for the vulnerable members in the society. Simply said, Ruth chapter 2 offers rich theological insights and moral lessons by encouraging the followers of God or the readers of the Bible to recognize and participate in God's provision and protection, to act with kindness and generosity to one another, and to always trust in God's overarching plan. As the story unfolds, the scenes of hope and redemption shown in this chapter will blossom into a profound narrative of restoration and blessing. Thank you for studying the Bible with us. Let us interact again in the next study.